T-Man 978 Chill Review.
Hello everyone, T-Man 978. Long story short, if you're a long-time subscriber and you've been waiting for me to do this review, you're not crazy. I did not review the Onslaught Mold, Blastoff, or Vortex. No, I don't remember their fake names, and you're not going to remember them either. Who cares? The companies that make these don't remember their fake names. But what I plan on doing in this video is breaking him apart, showing you how he combines, and then doing an overall review of the combined mode of War Giant / Bruticus. And yes, at some point I'm going to review this girl. She's going to be in a chill comparison review. Hopefully that'll be a short little review. I mean, you see everything you need to see right here, but she came with the Onslaught mold. Hey, Shardamus, is this considered build-a-figure art? You said nobody's challenged you, so here we go. I don't know. Anyway, one of the reasons why this video has taken so long for me to want to do is there is a ton of parts forming involved. You see all these little guns? They need to be combined. All of this stuff needs to be put together. Onslaught has like 6 parts by himself that needs to be attached to him before this thing can be fully combined. So, doing all this stuff for you guys sometimes can be a nightmare when it comes to Transformers. We call these reviews, but they're really demonstrations with an opinion thrown in. But let's get to the gun first. Let's start with Swindle's gun. His 2 accessories he comes with need to be combined. That needs to plug into there. If this is like this, it needs to be pulled back like that. Now we need, let's see, this gun, pull that back. This small part needs to peg into here. And now we need, let's see, Onslaught's gun, and yeah, whatever. Bring that back. Bring this handle down like that. I guess we can keep that lean back. And now this needs to peg into here. It doesn't peg securely, and that's okay because we need to take Brawl's guns, and we need the open peg right there, and this peg, we need to slide that into there and peg this into Onslaught's gun right there. Do the same thing on the reverse right here. Peg all that into place. This little thing right here needs to come up here to be the scope. Alright, and now these 2 guns, which I believe are Vortex's guns, need to go onto there. And now you have this big cannon right there. Let's set that to the side, and let's go back over Swindle. We need to pull this hood open right there. Take his little foot piece. These 2 pegs need to go into these 2 holes, and then this needs to peg into there. Simple enough. The feet are easy. Okay, we got that right leg done. Left leg, instead of pegs on the bottom, we have pegs right there that go into there, and this goes into the little hole right there. The turret fell off, and that is okay because you can peg that back in. Make sure this is rotated up so that the turret can be a little bit higher on his shin, so that this is coming up. Got that done. This arm right here is simple. I've already put his guns into here. That locks this into place so his arm won't just be swinging out. And the hand, it just has these 2 pegs. We basically need to peg them into the holes right here, and now you have an arm done already. This arm, you'll see this in the individual reviews when I finally do that, but this gun needs to be set inside of this right here, and I don't really like the way that happens because his hand is a little bit more difficult. You have to peg these 2 pegs into these 2 holes, and these 2 pegs on his gun that moves need to go into these 2 holes. So good luck in doing that. And yeah, I'm lucky. But one thing, because of the way everything is shaped, you can move this out of the way. It kind of gets in the way of the hand articulation. So there you are with that. I mean, if you don't mess with it too much, you don't have to worry, but this isn't a super duper secure connection, and that's one complaint I have. Now for the main body, I'm gonna start with the crotch piece. If this is up, it needs to be down. We need to slot this peg into that hole right there and groove this around his actual hip joints, which is sometimes easy but sometimes difficult. If you can do this, you did it right, because that will make sure that he still has a waist joint. Now let's go with his little two butt pieces. These two things need to connect together, and now we can give him his fleshed out butt, his Kardashian butt. Here we go with that. It's I don't know, it must be for their little combine mode that all these little pieces combine into a chariot, but they had to do something with it. So there you are with that. Now we take this piece right here, make sure everything is transformed correctly, and this piece is the main piece you gotta peg into this hole right there before you worry about pegging these pegs into these two holes right there. So you have to bring it over, and it is very difficult to do this on camera, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I showed you what you have to do. It's gonna be done. Okay, it's finished. Make sure this cannon right here that was already attached to Onslaught is pushed down, and we need to bring in this final part. This pegs into his like gut, and these two pegs go into these two slots. Push everything together. And I swear doing this on camera is hard. Other toys may not be this difficult, but this one is difficult. Push that down, make sure this is up, and make sure these are straight up. And now we have this back cannon part. Lift this straight up, have these on the bottom, peg them into the two holes on the back. Boom. Good to go, and now we can start combining this stuff. Down here, excuse me, pull these down like that, and these feel fragile. Like they're very scary, but amazingly, and I was already scared about that because I can't move this with the knee joint. I can't bend that with my hand. So I was like, oh man, look at what has to slot in there. That's gonna break. Put it in there, goes in smoothly, boom. It just moves like a dream. So they know what they're doing, and I need to shut up. Bring that all the way forward. Put this in here, bring that all the way forward, and you're good with the lower torso right there. Now take the arm, this piece right here, you need to just wiggle these into here. It doesn't feel secure, or it doesn't feel like something that will be a secure fit, but amazingly, magically, it is, once again. Put that in. And the same way I'm wiggling it on, that's the way you need to wiggle it off. They are still thin, so be careful. Be as careful as possible. But now we have War Giant or Onslaught in his combined mode, and I'm happy with it. One thing I like to do so this won't keep rotating. I mean, it can rotate for whatever poses you want. I like to bend this back, so that'll just keep that into place. But once you get all this together, you have a cohesive War Giant slash BRUTICUS that looks and feels very freaking nice. Like, it's kind of hefty. The only thing I can complain about with this whole set is some of this plastic is weird. I'm not gonna say it feels cheap, but it feels, I'm trying to put the right word on it. It's rigid, but it feels like kind of hollow. It's almost like the 3D printed plastic, but better. So I don't want to make it sound horrible, but I just feel insecure when I'm moving certain parts. But it all works somehow magically. If we want to get into details, he has all these transparent purple plastic parts, but it doesn't lend well for light piping. The eyes are purple. I mean, I don't know if you could shine a light in there and that will make his eyes pipe, but it's weird that they gave us the transparent stuff. And now that I'm doing this on camera, this thing wants to separate. I've played with this so many times and it hasn't been doing this. I'll see what the problem was. I didn't have this back then, so yeah. Let's get into articulation straight up in there. Now, the head. The head can wiggle this much on this panel right there. I believe they designed that on purpose to be able to do this, because the easiest way to manipulate his head is to lift it up. Then you can manipulate it, put it down so he can look up. You can actually look down a lot. Of course, the head can rotate and it can pivot on this ball joint. It is very, very stiff and scary. It might be a little bit too stiff because you have to worry about things like these right here that move. They feel easy to break off, so I would never grab him by the antennas. Grab him by the front of his head and the back of the head. These articulate if you'd like. Both arms have a little panel that moves the shoulder joint outward like that. Now they also have a secondary joint that it can't really go down too much, so I wouldn't mess around with that. Like I said, these plastic pieces are scary tiny or flat, thin, but they can rock up. This one, for whatever reason, it seems to only rock up one click. Even though it's designed the same on this side, it clicks twice over here. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe if I move this. Let's see. One. The difference is this little thing right there on blast off. It gets in the way, so it only lets his arm go up that much. Meanwhile, Vortex can go pretty much all the way out to the side horizontally. So I typically do all the gun poses with this arm and the dynamic hand poses on this side. The elbow joint bends at 2 points, right? It bends there and it bends here. So he has a double jointed elbow, but all this stuff gets in the way. Depending on how you rotate it, like if you rotate it inward, he would be able to get more of a double jointed bend on that side, but not really. Meanwhile, this one can totally pull off double jointed bend poses. And it rotates at the bottom right there. And if I'm not mistaken, yes, it rotates at the top. So it has 2 swivels on that one elbow joint. Both hands rotate here. The thumb is on a ball joint. So you can rotate it all which way, every which way you want. It has another little hinge that is difficult to use because of the way it's tooled. So you got to like rock it up to be able to get the thumb out. But depending on how you do it, you can get it to, let's see. It's kind of difficult, but if you mess around with it the wrong way, it will pop off of the ball joint. But you can get this thumb outward, but I don't feel like fiddling around with that. There's ball joints at the base of each knuckle on the finger so the fingers can spread out. And it has a joint here that bends all the way down like that. And you can make it make a fist. So there you are. Waist swivels all the way around. The hips can go all the way out, and that's about that. It can swivel right here. It can kick back until you bump into the kipple. It can bend right here because of the transformation of him. You lift this skirt up, and it can kick out that much, which isn't much at all. So what I end up always having to do is bring the legs out to here if I want some type of outward kick forward. The knee bends 90 degrees, the ankle pivots a ton, and the toe comes up like this. So he can do some good toe poses. It's the same exact thing on both sides. Now this side, I was thinking that I couldn't get the leg straight, but I forced the click and I was able to get the leg more straight. I wouldn't force it too much because, like I said, that stuff is scary right there. His rifle I built earlier, it can attach to his back or any other 5mm pegs that's all over his body due to this little handle being able to come out on both sides. So it's universal. Whatever way you want to put it up there, you can do that. As you can imagine, you put that in his hand just like you do masterpiece style guns. There is these two pegs right there that slot into the hole inside of his palm. It works very nicely. Just wrap the thumb around and then wrap the fingers around. Maybe bend this one, which is kind of difficult because these are big hands, but they're a little bit difficult to maneuver with the gun on. So you might want to make it look like he has his finger on the trigger. But there he is. He holds it nicely and sturdily. In fact, this whole thing is stiff and sturdy. And the joints are tight in this combined mode. He has this Shockwave gun. So it's built to look like a miniature masterpiece Shockwave. They spared no expense with this little accessory. It has the silver paint, the transparent purple plastic going through. This actually goes up and down the scope. They have this pliable hose. They put transparent plastic right there. I mean, it actually looks like it transforms, but it doesn't. Pegs in the same way. I would use this end because that gets in the way. He can actually hold the gun over there. It's a little bit hindered also due to this little part right there. Here he is wielding Shockwave. Shockwave is a little looking. But guess what? If you want, you can take Generations or Combiner Wars Shockwave, put this little peg into the hand, wrap the fingers around it tight because it's not really a tight grip. The finger has like a little pad on it. The index finger does. It seemed like they thought about this. It's not a tight grip, but he can fake it a little bit. So I wouldn't go flailing around like it's really firmly tabbed in. And one piece of articulation I didn't mention is on top of the ankle pivot, this actually does swivel on its own. And it might swivel off the mushroom peg. So be careful about that. Size comparison. Here he is next to Battle Trap, the 2 Legends class combiner right there, which you can see is barely taller than his actual knee.
And here is Legends class Shockwave. So here's the scale that you'll be working with.
Here is the Combiner Hunter Pink Assassin that comes with Onslaught here. That's what you're working with as far as an RC in the Legends scale. Amazingly, he is basically, well, he's taller. I could have swore I played with this before and they were around the same height. You know what? His knees were bent in the pose I had him in. But he is taller than this die-cast Voltron right here. This Target exclusive die-cast Netflix Voltron right there. Here it is against the Gypsy Avenger from Bandai. There you go right there, the Robot Spirits Gypsy Avenger. Standing it straight up, it is still taller. So I don't know if that would be inaccurate scale. Transformers do whatever they want. In another video, I had him attacking Base Omega. That's how it scales against my Fan Stories Terminus Giganticus. So when this guy was in base mode, it made sense. But now it's like, whoa, if this is the cartoon, he'd be his height. Because you know how they do with cheating. End of the day, although it's taking me a long time to do this review, I've been playing with this thing like on the regular. It took me a while to put it down. I've only stopped playing with it like maybe a week or so ago, and I've had it for like probably a month or more. Now it's very fun. Only thing that gives me any hang up is the way the hip skirt works. If that hip skirt thing wasn't there, which you can take off but it doesn't look right anymore, he has better range of the hip articulation. As you can see, I had to move it around that hip skirt to get it to work, but I'm able to do it. I like the fact that it has a waist. I like the way the neck works. I like the dynamic hands. Like, these hands are really friggin' awesome. The thumb is a little bit annoying and finicky, but you can get it to work. And he's really great and solid. It does have some scary connecting points and whatnot, but so far I haven't broke it and I'm not worried. Only problem I do have is because of the way I had it stored, when I took it to the meetup, but I saw somebody else brought theirs and I left it in the bag. I bent one of these, but I can probably fix that, but that was my fault. Anyhow, I'm totally satisfied with this and I have no regrets. This is the best combining figure that I have myself purchased. I don't have a ton. This is my only full-on third-party combiner. So this is the best combiner that I've ever purchased, like, ever. It's really cool. The individual figures are cool. He's cool. And I'm satisfied. I say buy it. If you like this video, let me know by liking the video. Let me know by telling me in the comments. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here. Thank you for watching.
Click the videos. Click the fucking videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos. Click the videos. Click those fucking videos, baby. Click the videos. You really should click those videos. Click on them.